What's going on, Internet? Iron Jordan here. So, today I am bringing you guys a deck profile for Garlet Jr., which has turned out to be my favorite deck from set 11. I am so excited to do this. Have you guys ever, this happens to me literally all the time, have you guys ever looked at the card previews for DBS and gone, I like that deck, I like that archetype, I hate that deck, I hate that archetype? It happens to me all the time. And then I just the opposite happens. I end up loving something that I thought I was going to hate and hating something I thought I was going to love. It happened to me in set 11. Yet again, it's happened so many times. It's happened to me dozens of times since I've been playing this game. This set it was Gogeta and Garlic. Gogeta, set 6, one of my favorite decks of all time. I love it. It's great. I thought Red Gogeta was going to be a blast for me. I thought it was going to be fun. New support, yay, all that other stuff. I built it and I don't really love it. I don't hate it, but I don't really love it. Garlic was probably my least anticipated archetype coming out of set 11, but I should have known. I'm a yellow player at heart. I should have known that this was going to happen. This happened with Jiren. This happened with Gotenks. Like, everything. I just gravitate to these janky yellow archetypes that are like pretty playable, or they're decent, or they're even good in Garlet's case. They're just not amazing. So, yes, I did say that this deck was good, and we'll go ahead and jump into why it's good. I'm not going to take you guys on like a big, deck building tutorial because the deck basically builds itself. It's essentially all set 11 cards. The main deck stuff here is stuff that I play in my version of the deck. The sideboard stuff is stuff that you can play in your version of the deck if you want to. It is purely just strictly preference. So, firstly, you got to play 4 of this baby card. This baby card is completely okay. It is probably one of the worst 3-drop unisons in the game. When you compare it to like Dark Broly or Jiren or like SS3 Gogeta, it's definitely worse than those guys, but it's still a fine card and it works really well in this archetype because you want to have cards that tapped, so your Legion get plus 5k. It's a blocker that restands itself every turn. It just generates pretty solid value just by existing on the board and being relatively difficult to kill. So, there's that. Next, you have Makeo Star. Makeo Star, however you say this card's name, it's incredible. Field spell, you play it, it gets you a guy off the top 5 of your deck that's a Demon Clan. Then at the end of your turn, you can play a 2-drop Demon Clan with its skills negated. So typically you just play like this Bulma or this Yamcha because they don't have autos that pin, that need to pin. You can play your super combo if you're feeling ballsy. You can play this guy that searches for the Makeo Star. You definitely want to play 4 and 4 of these because it's 8 copies of Makeo Star, which is just the engine of your deck. It's great. But the real reason to play this deck, and people at my locals found this out tonight, is Energy Field. This card is situationally better than Dormant. No, it doesn't kill anything. However, it actually stops the attack, which Dormant doesn't do, and it gives your opponent one entire attack left in the game, or in the turn. Now, if you have 4 demon, you have to have 4 demons to activate it for it to, to stop all the attacks. But if you have 4 demons, you can play it for free. It's very easy to get 4 demons in this deck. The only downside that I see with this deck is that it's very susceptible to board removal. Another thing is that, like, I found this out today, that Servant apparently gets around Black Mass Saiyan if the skill doesn't get negated. So, like, if you play it off Makeo Star, you still have to ditch 2 cards. But if you play it off the big Garlic, you don't have to do that. Completely didn't know that. But on top of that, this deck is really cheap. So if I'm just giving a lesson on like trying to convince people to play this deck because it's really fun and cheap and not competitive, but you could probably top a locals with it. Look at the prices here. This deck is like $20 without Chi Chi. Chi Chi, a playset of Chi Chi is like $80. You don't need them. You don't need them at all. I'm not even playing Chi Chi right now because we don't have TP 11, but we're getting TP 11 like in a week or whatever. This card, you don't need it. It's good. It's really good. And trust me, when the TP prices go down, get you a playset. If you have a playset already, that's great. Play 4 of it. It's amazing. But you can just play this guy over here. He is like a mini version of Chi Chi. He doesn't have Servant, which kind of sucks, but he untaps, which is nice. So, yeah, pretty solid. Uh, the super combo, you have a bunch of different options. I'm playing the one that's a Demon Clan because I found that it's more important to be able to play this guy off the top or search him or whatever than it is to set up your Overlord stuff with Krillin, because it's very easy to set up Overlord without the Krillin. You don't need it, and while seeing a bunch of cards is really good, you don't play a bunch of dead cards aside from all the extra copies of Baby in your deck, the Baby Unison, so you don't really need this. The other super combo that you can play is Zamasu. I just forgot to put it in the sideboard list because it's Zamasu and we should know to play it. It's good. If I ever took this to a big event, not that I'm stupid enough to do that. Oh wait, I am. I played Jackie Chun in Richmond. Duh. I played Goatings in Charlotte. Set 2 regional. I am dumb enough to do that. Then I would probably play Zamasu in the main board because and obviously you can't sideboard super combos. I know that, but I would probably main Zamasu instead of the Demon Clan guy just to have the better matchup against Sun Gohan, the reboot Gohan, because it's one of the worst matchups. When looking at some of the choices of the deck, like it's just one of those things where part of the reason why you play this deck is because in it's not a super easy deck, but it's also not incredibly hard either. It's not as hard as Broly, but it's also not like brain dead easy like Reboot Gohan is. So, you're playing a deck that does reward you for playing skillfully, and you can mess up. Like today, I lost 2 games at locals just because I messed up. Straight up lost both those games just because I didn't know the ruling on the garlic, the servant get around the Dark Mass Hand, or else I probably would have won that game. And then in another game, I was playing against Vegets, and it's the same person and the same deck that I beat in playtesting literally 2 days ago. But I should have Nimbused before he really started attacking on his turn. Like he attacked first, and I should have Nimbus, but I Mikao Star or not Mikao Star. I Energy Fielded first, and it ended up costing me a lot in the long run. It was a very big mistake, and I realized it right after I did it. But yeah, no, if you don't know what the deck does, I will give you a little bit of insight. I know I'm mostly rambling, but it's because I'm so excited to talk about this. Also, it's really late, and I kind of need to go to bed for work, so I'm trying to make this relatively quick. But the leader's front side is not amazing. He has an alternate awakening condition where if you have a 3-drop unison out, a 3-drop yellow unison out, you can awaken, untap one, draw one, which kind of hurts him because I prefer to be untap too, but whatever. Um, Overlord on the front side, which is dope. I think he's the only leader in the game that has Overlord on the front side. Unaware if the Majin Vegeta does or not. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't, whatever. But his front side's or his back side's insane. His back side like actually insane. Attack, draw one, Overlord once per turn. Cool, dope. You're drawing 2 cards every turn, which is incredible off your leader. And then you can also play guys for free on your opponent's turn, which sets up stuff for like energy field and stuff like that. You play 4 Nimbus because you need to be able to survive until your energy field gets turned on. And then once your energy fields get turned on, if you have 2 or 3 of them in your hand, it's really hard to die. The Garlic 3-drop can be a really strong play in the late game if you're sitting at 2 or 3 life and you're afraid of triple or double strikers, because it just straight up says that you can't take damage from those cards. If your opponent plays a Demigod secret rare on you, you just straight up ignore it because you go, well, last turn I played a Garlic, so I don't take damage from that. He has Deflect and Indestructible, so it's not like he's going anywhere. The big boy has crit. He can play guys off his activate main. The servant cards are really good in their own right. I kind of wish that the Roshi wasn't once per turn on the draw, but the Chi Chi is also insane. The Yamcha is probably the worst of him because he's just a blocker, but he's also probably the best target to play off Mikao Star. Because the way to play this deck is that you want to play your guys with autos off the Garlic auto. So play the guys in rest mode auto or the Vinegar auto, and then you want to play the guys that don't have pending autos off the Mikao Star, and that's just kind of the way that you play the deck. It's really rewarding. It's really fun when it goes well, and even if you're I mean, like I played a game against Dark Broly today that I lost, but it was incredibly close, and the only reason I lost is because he had a Fu shrouded in mystery. So hey, and I forgot how the 5-drop works with Massan, or how Servant works with Black Massan. So, but yeah, this is literally the deck. If you want to play it, it's really not expensive. You also have a couple of options. Like you can play the counterplay Vegeta if you really want to. It's a good card. It's probably one of the worst counterplay cards. It's definitely not the blue or the green one. It definitely competes with the red one though, in my opinion, and it's a blocker. Free Crusher Ball, that's also a blocker, is always great. You could also play the AOD package, which is the 8-card package where you play 4 of the Garlic Jr. here and 4 of the Turles, or even less than that if you want to. And the idea behind that is off your leader's auto, you get to play the Garlic Jr., and then he gets the Turles with its skills negated, and then on the next turn you get 2 15k attackers for free that you didn't pay for, and Turles can also draw you another Garlic Jr. if you go into it with its effect. So it's definitely worth considering. It's more of a aggro based strategy, and unfortunately I don't think that it meshes with the rest of the deck very well, so that's why I cut it. I did play it at one time, but it's just, I don't know, it just didn't work very well. So yeah, but this is the deck. This is what I've been playing. It's super good actually. Like it's not tier. I mean, it might be tier 2. Who knows? I mean, We just need somebody crazy enough to actually top with it and give it a shot at a decent sized event to show that, hey, this deck is actually real. Like, it's not a meme, it's not a joke, it's actually a real deck. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm done rambling. If you enjoyed it, leave me a like, comment, subscribe. I'll greatly appreciate it. And I'll see you guys in the next one.